in Dublin this morning and we're launching our 20-point plan to encourage people to take up entrepreneurship, to start their own businesses and to support others who have already done so. As things stand, we're losing about 1,000 people a week who are emigrating. This obviously cannot continue. This is a country with great ideas, with great energy, and what we need now is the environment to support people in setting up their own businesses. In particular, we need to be sure that businesses and entrepreneurs can get access to credit, that they have supports and services that they need, and crucially for us also, that those who start their own business can actually make a PRSI contribution that allows them to have access to social welfare should things go wrong for them. This is a great country, we have great people, we have great ideas. The time now is to get them to work. All right, well, thanks for coming along. You're very welcome here this morning. I'm Lou McDonald, last year Ruane Sinn Féin candidate in Dublin Central, and I'm joined today by my colleagues Thérèse Ruane, our candidate in Mayo, and Peadar Tóibín, our candidate in Meath West. We're here this morning to launch this document in relation to supporting entrepreneurship and enterprise in the coming time. We're very conscious of the fact that although the major focus has been on foreign direct investment and large multinationals over the last 10 years or more in the state, that still the biggest employers are small and medium-sized enterprises. I think it's obvious to say in the current climate with such a high level of unemployment and with so many very skilled people now forced onto the dole queues, that it's essential that we shift that balance and that we focus now on small and medium-sized enterprises and on indigenous enterprises. So the proposals that we're launching today address what we believe to be the big concerns for those who are entrepreneurs or who wish to set up their own enterprises. The issue obviously of credit, of accessing funding is a huge one. We've set out our position on the banking issue. We believe that matter has to be resolved to get credit flowing. The issue of costs, in particular the costs of utilities, are addressed in this document, and we're proposing a cap on those costs for a minimum of 3 years. And then crucially, this document sets out a number of ideas and initiatives around supports for entrepreneurs. And if I could just make reference to one of them, I think all of us have had the experience over the last year or two of people coming to us who had run their own business, whether they had been taxi drivers, shopkeepers, who then had lost their business had failed, and they found themselves literally with no social insurance protection and literally with no income. And we believe that that is something that needs to be addressed. So what we're proposing is that the option for entrepreneurs and the self-employed to opt into PRSI and to pay it at the same rate as PAYE workers. We think that this is an absolutely essential element if people realistically are going to take the plunge and take the initiative to start up their own businesses. So I'm going to ask Peadar and then Thérèse just to say a few words very briefly, and then we'll take any questions you might have.
Good morning to you, thanks for that, Mary Lou. My own background is in enterprise, and over the last number of years I've worked with hundreds of different businesses with regards to the difficulties they're having with the development of business. And small enterprises are key to the growth of this country. There are 250,000 small businesses in this state. And if we can, as a government, work with those to ensure that they're able to keep the amount of employees they have first and foremost, and then in the future maybe even just employ one extra person each, it would make a phenomenal difference to the development of the economy itself. And right now we've got hundreds of thousands of people who, through no fault of their own, are on the dole queues. Now, these people have years of experience, they have phenomenal skills and knowledge, and these people, if harnessed properly and given the proper supports, could actually work as the engine to development in this country. And what we need to do is a number of things. First of all, the headline issue is there is a reduction in spending and demand in the economy. This is affecting all businesses, and this is why we as a party have developed a stimulus plan which will offset this issue, which will put money into the economy and help people spend and help people retain employees. There's also other issues. There's issues of what we want to do is kind of create an enterprise culture, and as a party we're hoping to create 6,000 new startup businesses amongst those people who are under the age of 25. We're looking for enterprise to become a central part of the education system, whereby in a secondary school system that enterprise is a subject for people to study, and that maybe third level colleges can work with regards to enterprises. And even on a local basis, if we can start up business and science centres that can act as conduits, if you like, between universities, get the academic experience and the technical know-how from the universities, mix that with the local entrepreneurial zeal, well then it's a fantastic chance that we can actually get businesses operating on a local basis. We also want the enterprise organisations to take a more proactive role in the creation of business. For example, Enterprise Ireland would operate with large indigenous businesses, trying to get them exporting, etc. And we want them to take a more aggressive approach to this. So rather reacting to the demands of society when it comes to help, we want them to proactively go into local communities and start developing local businesses, etc. With regards to high potential startup units, currently we have, I think, a target in this government of about 85 businesses every year. That should be increased to 400 businesses every year. We want the export opportunity to become available to smaller businesses, the county enterprise board businesses, those businesses with less than 10 people. There's no reason in this shrunken market that we have at the moment that these businesses don't have an opportunity to export as well. Very practical policies whereby we would introduce a programme where small businesses who have a target market of prospects abroad would be given the necessary, let's say, market research facilities to use. These businesses would then be handheld into the prospect market for sales meetings, etc., so that they will be able to go through the initial stages of developing their businesses as well. Practical issues where you have hundreds of people in the community either employed in businesses currently or unfortunately unemployed who have great experience and knowledge within business. These people could act as a mentor panel so that new enterprises who don't have the startup experience, the technical know-how, or maybe understanding of the regulations that govern business, that they would be able to select a mentor who will work with them from this panel to develop their businesses in the future. So there's a lot of proactive, detailed activities that a government can do in a hands-on fashion to actually create an entrepreneurial spirit in this country. And these are part of our proposals here today.
Thanks, Benny.
I work as an enterprise development officer in County Mayo, and as you know, County Mayo is a very rural place. It's in the west of Ireland. I believe that as Irish people we have a culture of entrepreneurship. We're very creative people. People that are coming into me, and I work particularly with women and young people who are interested in trying to set up their own businesses. They're very innovative, they're bright, creative, they have wonderful ideas. But the reality is that for many people, particularly I would say in Mayo and in the west of Ireland, that the road to emigration is and they're bringing that energy, that creativity, and where other countries are benefiting instead of ourselves. And this is something that we have to change. Immigration is part of our past, it cannot become part of our future. So I believe that the documents, the proposals in this document that we're launching today will go a long way to supporting people, particularly the initiatives around women and young people, to set up their own businesses. There's a couple of major barriers that we meet with every day. One of, and Peadar has alluded to some of them, the access to social welfare is a key one. And the fact that particularly young people there's such a fear about setting up their own business because there isn't that protection there in the event of their business venture failing. The other one is access to credit, particularly again for young people with startups who want to start their own business, and that is something that has to be dealt with. In my hometown, for example, of Castlebar, and this is the case right throughout the state. One of the major barriers as well is access to high-speed broadband. And the broadband strategy currently will not deliver the speed that is necessary. And places like Castlebar, right across the west coast, for example, we don't have fibre optic enabled broadband, and it's not going to be delivered as part of the strategy. So we need to change that, and we need to ensure that local businesses have the infrastructure that they need to survive. We only have to walk down the street of any town, and we see the impact of small businesses closing down. So these proposals will go a long way to supporting small businesses to survive and to keep going at the moment, but it will also go a long way to supporting young people and people who are interested in setting up their own businesses and becoming self-employed.